Greetings. It's the KC Arts Beat Report. I'm Patrick Neas. It's always a wonderful thing to talk about the new season of the Harriman-Jewell Series. They always do such a fabulous job, as you know. And next year, of course, is no exception. Musical superstars, great ballet, great theater, great jazz. And what's really speaking to me is some amazing early music. And we're going to be talking to Clark Morris about all of it here in just a minute. But first, I'd like to ask you to please subscribe to our KC Artsby YouTube channel. Like this video, share it with the music lovers in your life because they will not want to miss these concerts. And also, please subscribe to our Substack. That's at kcartsbeat.substack.com. Every day we send great information about the arts right to your email box, composers' birthdays, historical trivia, and information about the arts in Kansas City. But right now it's time for the KC Artsby Report, brought to you by the Harriman-Jewell Series and by Get Well KC, offering a body-mind approach to health and healing, helping individuals alleviate pain and optimize their overall well-being. You can learn more at getwellkc.com. It's time to say hello to Clark Morris, our good friend, the executive director of the Harriman-Jewell Series. Clark, it's that time of year when you announce your new season, and it's sort of like Christmas time for me, opening all these packages. So I can hardly wait for you to give us a tour of what's happening next year.
Well, it's great to see you, Patrick, and to be with you today. It's like Christmas for us too, and we take the responsibility of the history of the series and our mission and what we do very seriously. In that we're really an importer of great culture and art from around the world and bringing artists to Kansas City, and this is going to be our 62nd year of bringing really incredible, just the world's greatest artists. We've done over 1,000 concerts in our 62-year history, and we are really doing something that we believe is a really important mission, in that it would take so much resources and time for people from Kansas City to go out into the world and see these things. It would be almost impossible, really. And so to get to bring them all here and to get to sample and see the world's culture and art. I was thinking about our role as we've enjoyed as a city and a community hosting, being one of the World Cup cities in Kansas City. And it's been fun to see the world come to us and to sample us and see what is it about Kansas City, our food, our art, our architecture, our people, and it's what kind of defines us as a civilization. And so it's so fun because the world has so much variety, because we're all in these different tribes and there's so many different cultures, and over thousands of years, art and culture has collected into our treasures that artists get to continue to bring to us. And so that's what we try to do, is to bring the treasures of the world here so that we can sample them right here in our community. So it's a great joy to get to do something that's so interesting and that people enjoy. People clap at our work. So and we can be, I think, sometimes a little bit behind the scenes because our artists are our first foot forward and who we put out on stage. But we're the fiber and the fabric that brings it all together. And with our incredible donors and our board and our staff, that's what makes it happen.
We should remind people too, because I think people forget. Not every city has a Harriman-Jewell series. It's a really tremendous privilege to have an art organization like yours that brings these fantastic musicians to town. It's sort of like every city doesn't have a Nelson Atkins Museum of Art either. Luckily, we've had visionaries in this town, people who founded the Nelson Atkins Museum and made these wonderful purchases when this art was affordable. And also back in the 60s, we had a visionary in Richard Harriman who founded the Harriman-Jewell Series. Should be so thankful for these people and also to people like you and others who are carrying on what they have created for our city. That's really what makes Kansas City special, in my opinion. As they say, we really punch above our weight. For a Midwestern town to have organizations like yours is really special.
Yeah, and I think we have kind of modest values, and I think we don't like to brag on ourselves here in the Midwest, but Kansas City does do that. It's had these visionary people who really saw it, and Richard, his kind of famous quote that I always remember is he said, "I want to bring the best," and he really wanted to search out and make sure that the very best in the world that we could bring them here to Kansas City. And I appreciate you, Patrick. I remember when, I mean, you probably don't remember this, but like almost 35 years ago, I came to your studio at KXTR and we sat and played records for 2 hours and talked about music and things that were coming on the series. You and I both were just kids then,
Yes.
but we've spent our careers, promoting and encouraging this art and this activity in Kansas City. And it's been a joy to get to do it, but I appreciate the role that you play and being a herald
Oh,
to,
well.
to shout about the great things that are coming.
Well, thank you. It's a mutual admiration society. It's been a pleasure to see how you have, taken over the role that Richard Harriman had here in Kansas City, and you're doing a tremendous job with it too. Your next season is a perfect example of that. I know Richard would be very, very proud of what you put together for next year. So maybe we should get started talking about it.
Let's do it. And as always, it's a lot of variety in that we don't do just one thing. We try to sample from multiple genres, trying to cover the sort of classical performing arts as we think of it. And so, but we are starting the season, and well, I'll also say that one of our other hallmarks is that we love to bring back favorites, artists that we've had before, but we also love to bring new artists that have never been to town. And so it's about 50-50 on this next season. And so, and we begin the season in October with one of the world's great cellists, Elisa Weilerstein, and she's coming in a dual recital with the pianist Enan Bartanan. And we've not had the opportunity to present either of these artists, but they're really titans of their genres. So Elisa is a really cool story because she comes from a musical family. She claims, her family claims that at 2.5, she was already identifying with her grandmother that she liked the cello and wanted to play the cello, but her
Wow.
parents held her off until she was 4 and wouldn't
Let
give
her
her
mature a
back
little
the cello
bit.
until she was 4. But she comes from a very musical family. So her father, Donald Weilerstein, was the founding violinist of the Cleveland Quartet,
Hmm.
and so had a tremendous career as the first violinist and founding member of the Cleveland Quartet. And then her mother, Vivian, is a classical pianist and had an incredible career. She has a brother who is a conductor and also a violinist. And so there clearly is something in the water in the Weilerstein family. And so she made her debut with the Cleveland Orchestra, I think when she was either 12 or 13, just as a kid. So she uh, inherited these musical gifts, and then, from a very early age was able to begin to display it on a really incredible level. Um, the other interesting thing to me about Elisa is that uh, she's has this incredible gift for music and the cello, but she also has an incredible mind. In fact, she won the MacArthur Genius Grant Award, I think
Hmm.
back 2011, just recognizing what a thoughtful and deep person she is. And so she puts a lot of thought into her interpretations and into her programs. And so I'm really anxious for us to get to experience her in Kansas City.
That's October 9th. That'll be the opening concert. What a great way to open your series, too. It wouldn't be a Harriman-Jewell series season without great ballet.
We're have been really fortunate to be able to present great dance and great ballet over the years, and we've worked with this company that we're bringing back. They call themselves the Stars of American Ballet, and because that's exactly what they are. They're principal dancers from the greatest companies. A lot of them come from the New York City Ballet. There's also dancers from American Ballet Theater and San Francisco Ballet, just the top companies. And they come together through this independent organization that just brings the stars together and let's come together and let's do a program with just us. And so they don't do full ballets, but they'll do scenes and pas de deux and smaller scenes that they can do with it's usually about 12 dancers. And so, but for us, it's like Christmas because we get to see the very best dancers in the country um, uh, all on stage at the same time. So
Cream of
sometimes
the crop. Yeah.
if you go to see a story ballet, you might see one or two, really top principal dancers, but and so we're really excited to bring them back, and that'll be later in October, I think October
Yeah.
23rd.
October 23rd, right. One thing that I think people don't give Harriman-Jewell, or they don't think about it as much with Harriman-Jewell, is theater. I've seen a lot of great theater over the years as part of your series, and I can see you're bringing a great actor to town.
Yeah, we haven't done as much theater recently as we used to. And actually our founder, Richard Harriman, theater was his first love. I mean, he loved all of the performing arts, but he really, really just had a passion for theater. He was a Shakespeare scholar himself and taught Shakespeare and also loved American playwrights and just and so particularly in our early days and we were able to bring a lot of theater. We presented the National Theatre from London. We presented the Royal Shakespeare Company. We used to work with a company called the Acting Company, and people like Patti LuPone and we present Spalding Gray, and so there's all of these opportunities that we had, which dried up a bit because Kansas City developed so many theater companies fantastically. We have a lot of great theater in Kansas City, and so there was less things touring that were appropriate for us or to kind of fill a niche. But occasionally something really cool comes along, and that's the case for this fall, where we're going to bring the great American classical actor Patrick Page in a one-man show that he's done, award-winning show called All the Devils Are Here. So it's a Shakespeare monologue show that he does all of kind of Shakespeare's evil villains.
Oh, that should be so good.
And he also will talk during the in between monologues, kind of setting the stage for, what's happening with these characters. But of course, he's has this incredible voice. So he's also a bass singer, and he's also a playwright. He's done a lot of Broadway, and so folks would recognize him from he was Hades in Hadestown. He was the Scar in The Lion King. He was Luminaire in Beauty and the Beast. All of these deep, rich voices that you have in your ear, that's all him. I mean, he's got this incredible uh, voice. I am also fascinated to get to meet him and talk to him because apparently that he was really talented as a young person, and as when he was a teenager got interested in magic and illusion, and he won a national award for his Magician of the Year when he
Oh,
was 16
wow.
years old. But it's always been, the stagecraft and
Uh-huh.
presentation has always been in his bones. He also did debate and forensics and he was two times the national speaker of the year in forensics for the whole country
Wow.
when he was in high school. So the just a tremendously talented person, and so and this show is an intimate show. So we're doing two nights of it because we know it's gonna sell out and people are gonna want to do this, really incredible opportunity to see him perform these Shakespeare monologues.
He sounds like he really knows how to put on a show.
Yes.
Yes.
He knows what he's doing.
He
Yeah.
knows what he's doing. That should be great. Yeah. Speaking of people who know what they're doing, I had mentioned early music earlier, and you're bringing a guy and his group that I first heard on the Harriman-Jewell series back in the late 80s. I can still remember the piece they did. It was the piece that gave them their name. It was Les Arts Florissants by Charpentier. And of course, the group is Les Arts Florissants, conducted by none other than William Christie. Boy, I am so happy you're bringing him back to town. What a magnificent artist he is.
Yeah, Bill Christie is, just one of the leading experts on early music in the world, and a scholar, and he's the founder of Les Arts. We've been fortunate to present him multiple times, and he now has a co-artistic director, Paul Agnew, who also was on this tour. And so Paul's going to lead the singers. He's a singer tenor, and then Mr. Christie will be at the harpsichord leading the orchestra, the early music orchestra. And so it and they're doing a Monteverdi program. They're famous for Monteverdi. This will be a series of Monteverdi like madrigals and songs, kind of taking us through. And the it so it's I think it's maybe our last opportunity to see Bill Christie in Kansas City. It's a real special um, uh, occasion, and so and I can't imagine that we'll ever get to do it again.
I'm amazed you were able to pry him from his garden in the south of France anyway. I know that's where he's spending most of his time nowadays.
Yeah, he's got this famous garden. In fact, they do a summer festival there, which it's always been on my bucket list to go to, and so we're really pleased to get to have some the ensemble, these musicians, and William Christie, someone of this magnitude, back to Kansas City.
And that's November 19th. Where is that concert?
That'll be at the Folly Theater.
At the Folly. Wonderful. I think that's where I heard them the first time they
Yeah,
brought their
yeah.
series. And then the Swingle Singers, or I guess they just call themselves the Swingles now. Boy, they're so much fun. And they're doing a holiday concert. That's bound to be jolly.
It's going to be a lot of fun. And the Swingles were founded in the early 1960s in Paris. And I kind of th I think I'm in the realm of the King Singers, which we're really familiar with because we've presented them a lot of times and have had a wonderful relationship with those British gentlemen and their close harmonies and their own arrangements of music. And so the Swingles are sort of like that in that but they're mixed and they're male and female singers. But they're very close harmony. They do their own arrangements and they have kind of a unique sound. They also do some sound looping where they'll use a looping technique and so they'll so that they can layer multiple lines of vocal music, creating a kind of a wash of sound and creating their unique sound. And so and they've been popular, ever and consistently popular around the world, ever since the 1960s. And so it was almost a little weird to me that we hadn't presented them. And so we got this opportunity, and then on top of it, it's a holiday show. And so it should be
Oh,
so much fun.
a no-brainer.
That's right. Yeah.
No, they are great. Yeah, they're so jazzy too. I mean, King Singers, they're great, and they do a little bit of jazz, but the Swingle Singers, they just all that great scat singing they do is so much fun. And that's going to be on December 19th. Perfect timing, right before Christmas. And
Um, Yeah, I mean, we are lucky to get to do a holiday show in December. So, but it should be, we like to kind of give that treat. And sometimes, families will want to come or bring, grandparents want to bring, grandkids to something like that. And people are looking for a unique experience at the holidays. And so they've never been to Kansas City. So it's,
wow, that is just, I mean, I am kind of shocked by that too, Clark. Really, because they've been such a big deal for so long. And everybody knows them, I think. Uh, well, speaking of early music, you're starting off the new year with yet another powerhouse in the world of early music. I mean, you don't get bigger than Les Arts Florissants and the Monteverdi Choir and the English Baroque Soloists. And they're being led by this amazing Bach specialist. Tell us about him.
So it's Masaki Suzuki, who is just considered to be, he's conductor and orchestral conductor, but for early music and particularly for Bach, he's considered to be kind of the grand master in our generation. And so to get to have him with what is kind of widely considered the best classical choir in the world, the Monteverdi Choir. And of course, their orchestra, their period instrument orchestra, is uh, which is called English Baroque Soloists because they're based in England, is also just one of the best early music orchestras in the world. So, and doing this monumental work, so it's Bach's Saint Matthew Passion. So, that work is considered, one of the Baroque masterpieces.
And really,
And
not just Baroque, it's considered one of the great, monuments of Western civilization, right up there with the Sistine Chapel and Wagner's Ring Cycle and, Bach's St. Matthew Passion.
Yeah, and I think that I think it was first performed in like 1727 or something like that. And so and this is the joy and the treat for Kansas City. You this is this choir and orchestra, Master Suzuki, like uh none of them have ever been in Kansas City before. It's kind of a dream that we're able to do it, and I don't, I can't imagine that it'll ever happen again. It's kind of a monumental task to get them here, and so we're just so fortunate to to be able to get the date and have them here. They'll be here in February, on February 18th, I believe. And the it's just not, it's something you don't want to miss. If you miss it, you won't ever get to do it again.
Well, not only is the St. Matthew Passion hardly ever performed live, to hear it performed by this group that, as you say, may not come our way again, especially with Masaki Suzuki. That's, and that's going to be February 18th. Now, speaking of another artist who might not come our way again, at least not in his current role, Vincent Marsalis on March 9th. He's been a mainstay of the series, and for good reason. People just adore him.
Yeah, he Wynton is our generation's jazz master and a cultural ambassador for the country and a thought leader. He's also a composer now, and he's going to dedicate more of his time to composing as he's stepping away from the organization that he helped found, Jazz at Lincoln Center and the Jazz at Lincoln Center Orchestra. And so we've gotten to present them multiple times. I've gotten to spend uh, time with Wynton here in Kansas City, and he's a brilliant mind, and uh, and just it's been so fun to get to present him and for thousands of people in Kansas City to get to experience him and the orchestra. Of course, it's they're just top notch. It doesn't get any better than them. But this is his last national tour, and as he steps away after this year in his role with Jazz at Lincoln Center. So one more time.
One more time, another don't miss concert.
That's right.
March 9th. And then another timely concert on March 17th, my patron saint's day, St. St. Patrick's Day. It's so great you've put together a concert for St. Patrick's Day. Tell us about it.
Well, we didn't actually put it together. Carnegie Hall put it together last year for St. Patrick's Day. And so it sold out Carnegie Hall last year, and it was with Martin Hayes and his quartet and a bunch of other um, uh, Irish musicians. And there's going to be a poet and a dancer, and also this great vocal group called the Ye Vagabonds. Which is three brothers that do Irish folk music. And so it's kind of a superstars of Irish music coming together. And so it's rare that you get to see all of these great artists. But I love our Irish music and folk music. And so we've always wanted to do something on St. Patrick's Day. And we were just lucky enough to grab it from Carnegie Hall.
Like for the Irish, and something tells me this group of musicians is in really hot demand on St. Patrick's Day. So kudos to you for pulling this one off.
Well, yes, we're the only place in the country that will have it on St. Patrick's Day for this next year. So, and we're lucky in that because of the caliber artists we work with frequently. Our musical artists are also at Carnegie Hall, and we had artists just last spring that were only here in Kansas City with us and at Carnegie Hall, and so it's we're again, I think it speaks to the special nature of what we have here in Kansas City.
Well, another amazing superstar, and you guys are known for bringing superstars to town. This is a guy who's been here before on the Harriman-Jewell Series, Long Long.
Yeah, the pianist Long Long, who I call him a gigastar because he's just worldwide. He's just got millions and millions of adoring fans. And we had him early in his career. We had him twice early in his career when he was a much younger man. And then it's one of those stars that's just so huge. You're like, I don't know that we'll ever get him back to Kansas City because he plays in arenas and he plays in front. Last year, he played in front of the pyramids in Egypt, and he played at the Olympics. And he's just in such huge demand for these gigantic occasions that I just didn't know if it'd ever be possible, but we're able to bring him back. And so we're expecting that Kansas City is really going to have a great time getting to experience that big a star here in our town again. This one is in Hellsberg Hall at the Kaufman Center on April 13th.
And what a nice guy. I mean, for being the gigastar that he is just so nice. Every time I see him, interact with people, you can tell there's a genuine sincerity and love of people with Long Long.
Yeah, and I think people assume that he's not a good person, but he's a very sweet person and very genuine, and we've had great interaction with him.
And then you're bringing a group to town that, is America's orchestra, I guess. Wouldn't you call them that?
Yeah, it's the National Symphony Orchestra. They don't say of the United States, but that's what it is, of the United
Uh-huh.
States. They're based in DC, and their home is the Kennedy Center. And so we have been working for a number of years, I think probably over 3 years, to bring them in this season. We thought in the 250th, anniversary of the country having just been celebrated, it'd be great to have America's National Orchestra. They've never been to Kansas City. We've never presented them, and they've got a phenomenal conductor. This is their music director, Giandrea Nosata, and he has a phenomenal reputation. And then with a violinist that we're familiar with, Ray Chen. We had presented Ray when he was just a teenager, and his career has really skyrocketed, and so he'll be the violin soloist with the orchestra. So really excited to get to bring them. We like to bring full orchestras and get to sample what other great orchestras in the world sound like and look like. So it should be
And we have
fun.
a great hall for them to play in, too.
We do, and they love it. And
Uh,
so that's also very satisfying is when they come in and they say, wow, about Hellsberg Hall.
yeah. That's April 23rd. And then to wrap up the season, another beloved artist who has appeared before on your series. Um, Tell us about her.
So that's Audra McDonald, and Audra is she's a singer, she's a Broadway actor, she's been on television, she's been in film, she's won multiple Grammys, she's won so many Tony Awards, and just she's the most decorated artist in our lifetime as far
Wow.
as like the amount of prestigious awards that she's won. And it's easy to see why once you sit there and listen to her and experience her artistry. She is just incredible. I have gotten to see her multiple times on Broadway. I saw her in the original production of Ragtime, and she's really uh, um, just an extraordinary interpreter of music and literature, and so and she's so much fun as well. And so it'll be a rousing and fun evening, and a good way to end our kind of our main stage season. That'll be on May 7th.
Yes. Fantastic. What a lineup, Clark. I mean, the big stars, big orchestras, great early music, a wonderful Christmas concert. I mean, it's just amazing. So if you want to look at the complete season, go to hjseries.org. You can also call for tickets, 816-415-5025. That's the Harriman-Jewell Series. Uh, you don't want to miss these concerts. And also, you don't want to miss out. So I would suggest getting tickets soon because people like Alder McDonald, Lazare Florissant, Long Long, these tickets are going to, sell like hotcakes. So don't sleep on these concerts. Get them now. 816-415-5025, hjseries.org. Clark, it's always so much fun to talk to you about anything, really, but especially when it's your new season at the Harriman-Jewell series. I really appreciate your time today.
I appreciate you, Patrick, and we're going to have a lot of fun and going to welcome everyone in to come and celebrate what the Harriman-Jewell Series is able to do with Kansas City.
And the KC Artsby Report has been brought to you by the Harriman-Jewell Series and by Get Well KC, helping individuals alleviate pain and optimize their overall well-being. You can find out more at getwellkc.com. And again, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook, like this video and share it, and subscribe to our Substack at kcartsby.substack.com. And when you subscribe, you'll get great emails right to your email box every single day with lots of great fun trivia about composers' birthdays and history and all kinds of stuff. So until then, take care. I'm Patrick Neas.